Hello class, welcome to lesson 5 in module 4 titled Writing Addition and Subtraction Expressions. So here we have, I might actually split this one into thirds, there's a lot on this. So here's the first chunk if you want to go ahead and pause it there and copy down. Here is the second chunk. You can, if I were you, I would cut it off and stop copying right there, and we'll cut the last chunk down to there. Okay, and finally, I'll get rid of this. We've got the bottom chunk, looks like this. Alrighty, so let's jump right in and take a look at the question we hope to answer by the end of this lesson. How do I create expressions from addition and subtraction word problems? So looks like today we're going to be looking at word problems and turning them into mathematical expressions. The answer, we need to identify the values and the function. So values are just the numbers, function is what type of problem it's going to be, and then write the expression. Pretty basic. A couple things to remember as we pursue figuring out how to do this. We got to remember that the sum is the answer to an addition problem, and the difference is the answer to a subtraction problem. So whenever you see sum, we think plus. Whenever you see difference, we think minus. Okay. So a few more tidbits of information to consider while we move through. In addition, the order does not matter because of the commutative property that we learned in the last lesson. So when you're doing an addition problem, order doesn't matter. However, in subtraction, it's very important that we realize the order does matter. So we need to pay close attention to which number comes first and which number comes second, because 7 minus 3 is not the same thing as 3 minus 7. So in these subtraction problems, the order matters. Let's take a look at a couple examples down here, and then we'll practice a lot of these in class to really hone in our skills. So, write these sentences as expressions. Our first example, we need to write the sum of a number and 7. So, step 1 from above, we need to pick out our values. So our values are a number, we don't know that, but we know that it is a number, and 7 is our other number. So we're going to use n to represent number, and obviously 7 to represent 7. Okay, so we have n and 7, and the next thing we got to do is identify what kind of function we're working with. The function we're working with, we use the word sum to realize that it is an addition problem. So we're doing an addition problem of a variable n and 7, and we see that here. We have n plus 7. Number is n, 7 is 7, and sum is a plus sign. And you know, because of the commutative property, n plus 7 is the same thing as 7 plus n. So either of these will work as the correct answer. However, here, for part B, we need to make sure that we pay close attention to the order. We see the difference of a number and 12. We can identify our values as a number and 12. We'll represent a number with n and 12 with obviously the number 12. Okay, and then we know that because we have the word difference, we know that it is a subtraction problem. All right, and it's important here that we see, as I get rid of these, that number comes first, so n comes first, and 12 comes second, so 12 is after the minus sign. Now there are many ways that you are going to see addition problems and subtraction problems described, and the only way to really cover it is to practice it. Okay, they're not always going to say sum, it's not always going to say difference, and this order isn't always going to be so straightforward. But as we practice, you will catch on as to how to order them correctly and figure out what kind of problem they are. So hopefully now, at least we have an introduction into answering this question. How do I create expressions from addition and subtraction word problems? Identify the values, pick out the numbers, and then identify the function. Alrighty. Thank you very much. That's all we've got. Goodbye.